What's up YouTube, Winterguard here. So this video is going to be about itemization and how to potentially upgrade your character's items as you play. It's not quite the same as what you might be used to in other ARPGs, even POE 1. Most people look for just upgrades on the ground as you kill stuff, which is still true to an extent in this game, but there is more crafting and even loot from the vendors that come into play, just as much or more so than potentially drops that you get. Just as a caveat, there was a patch update this morning that addressed some loot drops, mainly with crafting items, but I believe there was one change where potentially a better chance of a rare coming off of a rare mob. So they're addressing it, but slowly. They don't want to jump too far ahead. But let's get into it real quick. Obviously, the first way you're going to upgrade your character is probably just killing stuff and getting drops. That's obvious, but you want to make sure everything that drops, it blue items, everything, you want to ID and look for potential stats that would be useful, even if it's not necessarily an upgrade for your character at the time. You can modify through crafting a blue item to make it better, or add a stat depending on if it just has one modifier. Even the white items that drop, if they kind of fit into the theme of your character or how you're playing, you want to look at white items that drop and potentially update those as well. So what you want to do is use the orbs that are available to you, because these drop the transmutation and the augmentation orbs. You get a lot of these, so keep using these. Don't just stash them. I made this mistake early on. I was just blowing past everything and looking at hunting rares, and they live up to the name. They are rare. You're not going to see rares very often, so take the blue items and even the white items and craft them often just to see if you get an upgrade. So for instance, you could take a white item and make it magic with a modifier, and if it's potentially good, the one modifier you get, take it to the next step and add another modifier. If both of those are good, potentially roll that into a rare if it's useful for you, or it's going to be an upgrade for the slot that you're trying to upgrade. They did make some changes, especially Regal is one of the ones that they're modifying the chance of dropping. These have a slightly higher drop chance now, and what they did was they took a less useful orb that drops and modified it to potentially drop Regal instead of that one. So check your vendor. This is also very important. Check your vendors, because they reset every time you level. And you do have you can have a chance of getting rares from the vendors, and this resets every time you level. So make sure after you level to go back and check your vendors, see if you see anything useful. We'll just use this as an example. Let's take this one. So it's got one stat on it. It's a life stat. It's not bad. Life's always a useful stat, and we will add a modifier to it and see if we get anything good. Dex, potentially useful for more like the ranger or maybe mercenary. I haven't played monk, so maybe monk as well. Anyways, it added the second stat. If, say for instance, you just got two really great stats on the blue, take it and upgrade it here. You can take the Regal orb and add one more modifier to this and potentially get an upgrade that way. Just looking, I could have potentially, no. See, and also, like, just because you can't use a rare on the character you're playing, I actually had this drop off my Sork, which made me kind of want to play with Warrior a little bit. This is an early level 4 item, and it's actually pretty OP through Act 1. It's got this hammer. I've just been smashing everything, including bosses, with this as my starting item. So yeah, you kind of want to work on one character, but you know, keep stuff like that, especially for early leveling. It does make some of the early game a lot more fun, re-rolling a new character. Say for instance, I kept a bow because the stats on this are pretty solid. Quiver, same thing. So, but if it's one that like you're probably not going to get that much use out of, like this armor here, is kind of just generic. Nothing really great stands out on this armor. You could take this to an Una and just disenchant it. And as you can see, you can hover over it. It's going to give you a regal shard. Give you a regal shard. And the regal shards, 10 of those make a regal orb. So make sure to pick up everything and take advantage of the disenchant and upgrade it, or disenchant stuff as often as you can. And we'll just dump that into the pile. Where'd that go? Oh, there it is. So I got six here. Once it hits 10, it automatically pops it into a regal orb. So take advantage of disenchants. Do that with blues as well, because the item drops just in general are way lower than what you might expect from an ARPG. You're not going to get the big loot splash when you kill bosses. It's just not going to be that way. Maybe they address it a little bit later, but right now that's the case. So use the crafting system, use your vendors, and upgrade your items accordingly. We'll leave it here for now. Till the next video, keep on farming.